Hi, this is Margo. This is Sunday evening, October 22nd, 2023. I hope everyone is safe and doing as well as possible. And yes, another week has passed, and it's been pretty tumultuous, I would say. We're on the brink of World War III, and it's just a real tense time for everyone. And I'm praying for peace. I don't agree with war, and I don't agree with killing, and I'm just praying for peace. And anyway, that's all I'm going to say about the whole situation there. But I'd like to welcome everyone to the show tonight. This will be my weekly update that I'll be putting on YouTube. We'll go over climate-related items and methane and sea ice and a couple of other things. So I wanted to, we'll just start off with Climate Reanalyzer here. And this is maximum temperatures around the planet. Oh, and before I go on, in your comments, I would rather you not comment on the war situation and what's happening in the Middle East, because, I don't want YouTube, coming down on the commenters for any reason. So, if you try to leave a comment referring to any of that situation, I won't approve it. And as you know, I've got the comments set to be held until I approve them. And so I just want to give everyone a heads up on all of that. And so don't comment on that situation, and we'll be okay. And I'm just watching my P's and Q's over here on YouTube, and want to keep the channel up. And so I'm thinking there are certain areas that shouldn't be commented on if we want to keep this channel up. So thanks in advance for your cooperation on that. And if I do happen to not approve your comment, please don't take it personally. It's just something that I feel like would not be in the benefit of the channel. So thanks for being here and being my supporters. And I'm here tonight to not only give you an update on the climate and everything, but to offer spiritual support. And so to know that I love you all and I'm praying for everyone. And I really do think time is short, and that all of us need to get our spiritual houses in order, whatever that means to you. So, I just want to, get that out there up front. And so now we'll move on with our report. So we're starting out with maximum temperatures around the planet today. And we see that Greenland has warmed up. It had been in this purple color, which was 30 degrees C below, minus 30 C. It's up in the dark blue and higher than that. Anyway, the Arctic is cooling down. We still have greens in the North Atlantic, and we had warmer weather here in the Reno area this week. We had 85 as high for a couple of days, But now we've got a cold front moving in today and tonight, and they're saying we might even get snow, I think, tonight or maybe tomorrow night up in the mountains. But you know, we didn't have an autumn, it just went from summer to this. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at in my neck of the woods. And so we've got reds in the middle part of the states in south. Here in South America, we've got all these whites over Brazil, Bolivia, all these other little countries inside there. Also, up in the northern part of South America, Colombia, we've got whites across Africa, Northern Africa, Saudi Arabia, and this area just below the Congo region, kind of south central area. Also Australia, you've had a lot of whites in the northern region and the western region. Also Papua New Guinea, you're in the whites. And white denotes 40 degrees C or higher, or about 104 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. Here's 2-meter temperature anomaly, and as you can see, we've still got we've got a few blues just spotted in the Arctic, but it's mainly in the browns and dark browns moving toward the red zone. And so that dark brown is about 10 C higher than normal, and moving into the brownish red, it's 14 to 15 C higher than normal. So we've got these temperatures that are keeping that air temperature warmer than normal, and so the sea ice is kind of struggling in these areas to grow back. Then we've got blue across Alaska and part of Canada, and then browns coming down here through most of the U.S. even. We've got blues from Norway all the way over into Russia. Then a lot of browns over Russia, over East Russia, and also West Russia. Here's the flat view, and so here's most of Russia is in some shade of brown, and this is that's Ukraine there, that's in kind of reddish brown. Here's the Black Sea, and then browns all around there, browns over Africa, browns over the Middle East, India, China, Kazakhstan, Mongolia. Here, see Australia, you've got a lot of browns. South America, and in the Antarctic it's gone down. This had heated up, but it's gone way down. We've got a lot of blues, but we do have some browns as well. I'm not seeing reds down there. Here's our view overall. Worldwide, we're up 0.88 C higher than normal. The northern hemisphere is up 1.45 C. The Arctic Sea zipping up 4.64 C higher than normal. The Antarctic is down 2.63 C lower than normal. southern hemisphere is up 0.33 C, and the tropics are up 0.87 C. So this northern hemisphere and Arctic are big ones. That Arctic almost, well, it's pushing 5 C higher than normal right now, as it's heading into, it's in the fall season now, and it's getting dark up there. Here's precipitation and clouds. We've been seeing rain come up across the Atlantic and up to Iceland and up to the coastline of Greenland this week, but it's been turning to snow before it gets to Greenland, and I haven't seen any new melting down here in the southern part this week. In fact, the melt season is practically over for Greenland right now. There is another atmospheric river it's just come off of the U.S. that's building, and see, it's coming just up to the southern tip of Greenland, and so this will probably be heading east. It's east and northeast is what I'm thinking. There was a hurricane that made landfall at Baja. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, right down here, right at the tip of Baja. I think it was Hurricane Tammy. Is that it? And now it's coming up to Mexico. And just it's that time of year. And see all the snow across Russia there. So here's the flat view. We've got rain coming pretty far south, and then snow coming up to this Antarctic coast. Here's rain and rain-snow mix in the South Atlantic right next to the ice there. And then the pieces, picking up the pieces from the broken jet stream. We've got all these weird loops, see, and the cold air is definitely escaping here. We've got breaks and loops. And here's the Pacific view. Look at this. Look at that crazy loop. Yeah, it's broken. Definitely. Southern hemisphere. Broken. And we'll look at sea ice in a minute. Here's sea surface temperature anomaly. This is for yesterday. We still got browns in the Arctic. It's even with the sun going down, it takes a while for this water to really cool off. It's been warm. I mean, so much warmer than normal. It just takes a while for the water to cool down, like I said. And see, the Hudson Bay is still red and brown. And we've got brown and moving towards the red zone, just south of Greenland. Here's a hot spot, this red zone. This is off the coast of Newfoundland, This corresponds to the methane hotspot that we see bubbling in the North Atlantic a lot of times on cams. And here we've got browns and we've got some blues mixed in. And the Gulf of Mexico is kind of cooled down. We still got some browns, but it's cooling along this Florida coastline and also off this eastern seaboard. See the blues, and my theory is that it's from the hurricanes that we've had where it's they have pulled up the surface water, which was warmer than normal, and carried it along in the storm and dumped it in as they went along. And then in the wake of that, the colder water came to the top. Here's the flat view, and we've on this East Atlantic side heavy browns. The Mediterranean is browns and heavy browns. The Black Sea is half brown, half blue. Caspian Sea, brown and blue. Persian Gulf is filled up brown. The Red Sea is mainly brown. The Indian Ocean is mainly brown. The South Atlantic, we've got a blue patch and just below the equator in the Atlantic. And then it goes brown as it gets further south. And in the Pacific, on this equatorial Pacific, we've got heavy brown streak coming across, and then another band of brown just north. Well, it's on the same level as like California and Mexico, and the evil eye and evil mouth has dissipated. The blob that we saw here for a long time in this Northwest Pacific area has kind of dissipated, and so we're seeing just shades of brown now. And the Sea of O coast is heating up. I'm thinking it's heating up. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it refreezes anytime soon. But that's mainly in the browns now. So there's that. And now, I've got a little bit to explain about methane. First of all, when we get to the CAMS methane data, their latest data that they have is for Thursday the 19th. And so I've already presented that data to my Subscribestar audience, but I will present it again in my show tonight, since that's our latest data from CAMS. And so, but when new data becomes available, I'll be recording it. Usually I'll just start recording it in silent movies just to catch the data, and then I'll post that on my Subscribestar page. And by the way, if you would like to have updates on methane and sea ice during the week, you might consider joining my Subscribestar page. The link is in the description box below, and you get notifications every time I put up a post. You can leave comments over there. You can also direct message me over there. And so that's a way you can support me if you would like. And then I also have a PayPal link if you'd like to support my work. But all that's in the description box. And now there's something going on with the NOAA data, and okay, I'm going to leave this screen up here for right now, but there's something going on with the NOAA data, and I explained it all in one of my Subscribe Star videos that I did this week, the one I did on Tuesday, and so I'm going to splice that in right now to the show so that you can see what's going on, so I don't have to re-explain everything. And then I'll pick up with the current NOAA methane data. And so here we go with the show from Tuesday. Now I want to just kind of backtrack a little bit on our methane. And now from the 13th, here was the 13th, which was Friday. The data was still pretty good. And here was the MetOp B in the morning, 1000 millibar. And I'm just looking at the coverage. See, it's pretty good. Afternoon, it's pretty good. And we have it over both hemispheres and over some land mass as well as the ocean areas. Same with the MetOp C. We're still seeing pretty good coverage here. See, I mean, it's not all pink, but we're seeing coverage in north and southern hemisphere. See, and here it is, 487 millibar in the MetOp C, and there's coverage all the way from the North Pole to the South Pole, with just some gray areas. And so I want you to, now that we have that fresh in our minds, I'm going to backtrack. Here was the 14th data, which I showed on Sunday as well in my Sunday report. This was MetOp B, 1000 millibar. Now look at MetOp C and see all this gray area over, mainly over the oceans in the southern hemisphere. See, so we've got missing data here, and here in MetOp C in the afternoon, we've got from southern Indian Ocean down to across the Antarctic is missing. Okay, back to the MetOp B on 487 millibar. This looks like good coverage, morning and afternoon. Now here's the MetOp C, and see the gray all down here in the southern hemisphere. And MetOp C in the morning and afternoon both. And that's where we saw the 6 parts per billion, where we saw it go up 6 parts per billion in one day on that MetOp C. Remember, because I've broken out just the MetOp C on 487, so that's kind of a telltale sign that this data is skewed. So I'm going to have to make a note. And this, remember when the MetOp B data was missing? Remember that MetOp B from May 20th to June 20th, missing data on the MetOp B satellite, denoting mostly gray or QC fail for the northern hemisphere, thus showing a false decrease and then sharp increase on 6/21 when data was restored. And it was from here to here. See, I took all that data out, so I may have to do that. For this MetOp C, which is going to screw up our readings. So we've seen it before, and that's why I knew what to look for. And so that was the 14th. And so the 15th was Sunday. Now I did a silent movie for the CAMS data for Sunday. And so in this video we'll go over the CAMS data for Monday and the NOAA data for Monday and Tuesday for methane. So starting here, Sunday and Monday. So here's the 15th, Sunday, MetOp B in the morning, 1000 millibar level. The mean was 1844 parts per billion. Pretty even coverage here. And in the afternoon it was 1846. Again, even coverage. And here's the MetOp C in the morning. They're showing the mean was 1855. But look at all this gray area. Mainly in the southern hemisphere. So that's uneven coverage. I'd call it QC fail. Same thing in the afternoon, and the mean was 1857. And these are really high readings. I mean, they're showing it going up exponentially. And on the 487 millibar level, back to the MetOp B in the morning, the mean was 1927. In the afternoon it was 1929. And on the MetOp C in the morning it was 1906. And that's really high. And see all the gray in the southern hemisphere. Mainly over Africa and south of Africa and over the Pacific Ocean area. And in the afternoon the mean was 1901. And so here our missing data is mainly in the southern Indian Ocean. We're seeing some in the Pacific, but normally it's more solid than that. So that was Sunday. So here's Monday the 16th, 1000 millibar MetOp B in the morning. The mean was 1844. Even coverage there. In the afternoon it was 1846, even coverage. Look at all of this. Here on MetOp C in the morning, the mean was 1854. See, all the Pacific is missing. And then for this whole area coming up through Africa. That's, see all the gray that's missing. 1854, and in the afternoon they're showing the mean at 1869. See all this gray area. And back to the 487 millibar MetOp B in the morning. The mean was 1926, full coverage. In the afternoon it was 1929, full coverage. And missing data here. MetOp C in the morning, the mean was 1905. And in the afternoon it was 1907. So, let's see, this lower area is all gone. But it's more coverage than we saw for a day or two there. So if we look at our tracking, like just the MetOp C data, where it ended at 1901 this last week, showing an increase of 7.5. I mean, the data really started looking skewed on the 14th, where it went up 6 parts per billion. And then the 15th, it shows the average at 1903.5, an increase of 2.5. And the 16th, an average of 1906.0, another increase of 2.5, showing a potential rise this week of 5.0 so far. So I think that's too high. And here on our full readings, so for the 14th, that was skewed. We see that, and we ended up going up 3 parts per billion in one day, and went up 3.25 last week. And for the 15th, the average was 1915.75, an increase of 2.5, and the 16th average was 1916.75, an increase of 1.0, with a potential increase this week so far of 3.5. And then on surface level, again we saw the big increase in that one day on the 14th of 3.25. And then the 15th average was 1850.50, an increase of 1.5. The 16th, 1853.25, an increase of 2.75, showing a potential increase so far this week of 4.25. So, this is skewed data, and so I'm going to have to mark that so that we can And it's unfortunate this is happening now because it's right at the height of the methane season, right at the very end. And so, you know, it would go out like right now, wouldn't it? So we can't get an accurate end reading for this year for the rise. So anyway, there's that. Okay, now we'll pick up with the NOAA methane data. And as you saw in the show that I did on Tuesday, the MetOp C satellite, I realized, it's not picking up enough data for us to have accurate readings. So it's still not, and so I don't know how long that's going to be for, but what I'm doing is I'm documenting it. And so I'll show you what I did to the spreadsheet as well. So this is the methane data for yesterday, the 21st, which was Saturday. And this is the 1,000 millibar level, MetOp B in the morning. The mean or average was 1,842 parts per billion. You can see we've got even coverage from top to bottom. You know, there's still gray areas, but that's about the same. In the afternoon, the mean was 1843, and as you can see, there's almost nothing here on the MetOp C data. MetOp C in the morning, the mean was 1859, and so we know that that can't be an accurate reading with so few areas where it's being picked up. And remember, 1,000 millibar is equivalent to surface level on cams. And in the afternoon, there was a little more coverage, but it's missing almost all of the southern hemisphere and a lot of the northern hemisphere. And the mean was 1877. And on to the 487 millibar level, MetOp B in the morning, the mean was 1926. We have a spike here, a high reading of 2543, and that happened somewhere in the pink zone. And in the afternoon, the mean was 1926, the high reading was 2431. And here's our MetOp C, again the same missing data, and it says the mean is 1927, and in the afternoon a lot of missing data still, and they're showing the mean at 1905. So let me explain what I did for the spreadsheet. Now, I had originally broken out this MetOp C satellite reading on the 487 because the MetOp B was malfunctioning for about a month, if you recall. Yeah, the MetOp B was malfunctioning. Let's see, during this whole thing for about a month, from May the 20th to June 21st. And so I didn't count that data in our charting. So I'm going to do something similar to that. on this. So if we, so just to record the data for the MetOp C only 487, the average would be for the 21st was 1916, which was a decrease of 7 over the day before, giving us a potential increase this week of 15. So that's, yeah, it just doesn't do that. So, what I did, as you saw in the video, I realized that the 14th data was skewed, and so that's where we ended the week in my show last Sunday, and so showing that it had gone up 7.5 that week. And so I redid that, and instead of taking the data for the 14th, I took it for the 13th, since that was the last good day of data. And so with that, it only went up 1.5. It should have only gone up 1.5 in my show last week. So it wasn't quite a week with 6 days. That's the closest we're going to get on that. And I'm not posting the skewed data on my weekly chart. So this is unfortunate because we're right at the end of the methane rising season, and you know, it could have been, but we don't know what the actual high was when it was. Right now it's looking like it's going to be around this 1898.5 reading that was on September 16th. But I'm gonna wait. It's, you know, we're probably not gonna get any good numbers. I don't know. We might start getting good numbers, but I think we're in the cooling season now. More than likely, we are. But I'm gonna wait until around the 1st of November to say what our high was. And so I'm doing this for all of these, and so you know, I just documented it, and I'll put a note out here. But so I redid the chart from last week and made it for the 13th, and we ended on the full 487 millibar readings at 1910.25, and that was a slight increase of 0.25 over here. And same thing for 1000 millibar level. And so I took the reading for the 13th, and that was 1845.75. That gave us a decrease that week of 0.5. And so it does look like we've peaked out from the data that I trust to report on. So that's where we're at with the NOAA methane data, and I'm disappointed because you know, we're just coming up on a year since they started the new heat model, and so, you know, I thought we were going to have something to compare to, but we'll see what happens. So now we'll look at the CAMS methane data. This is out of Copernicus Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service out of the EU. Our base time and valid time are both for Thursday, October 19th. Arctic area and surface level is where we're starting. And so the data is for Thursday, and the forecast period is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And, I've been thinking about what to do about that MetOp C, and should I break out just the MetOp B data? It's kind of a pain to do that. Anyway, if anyone has any suggestions, I'm open to what you think I should do on tracking all of this. So the data is for Thursday, and forecast period is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And so we're seeing higher background readings when it cycles down at nighttime. See, we're still seeing oranges and even some spots of red across Russia. And we see Komsomolets has come back to life. We've got higher readings in the Kara Sea, over the Kara Sea. And also see it swirls down in the Barents Sea, higher readings, and see, we're seeing lighter green and more yellows as our background readings in this whole Arctic region. So that's a higher overall background. Alaska, for the most part, has gone down. It's got a little bit of reds popping up here and there. Canada, we still have high readings in central Canada and over south of the Hudson Bay. And then also in the tar sands region in western Canada, depending on the day. And in the U.S., this North Dakota area is just hemorrhaging. It's just, watch, it's just going to billow. It's out of control. Watch it. See here, this is at the beginning. See. And pretty blobby, just depending on the day and whether they've had rain or not and how warm it is. This whole eastern seaboard is coming in real dark. Texas, West Texas, all the way up. California, you're pretty blobby. And this northeast Pacific area, around the Seattle region, depending on the day, that's pretty blobby in that region too. Okay, now we'll go to the North Pole view. Europe is covered up. See, Germany, UK, Ireland, parts of France. Look at that. Just huge blob all the way over to Russia. Persian Gulf, you're filled up. India is filling up. and see the heavy readings spilling over in this Bengal Bay. That's a sign of very high methane. Same with China. It's filled up, and parts of it are streaming over. Central America and Mexico, southern Mexico. See, you're pretty blobby. And see these waves moving out. They're higher readings as well. And these Pacific Islands, they're humid and they're hot, and so most of those are pretty filled up with methane. And then we'll go to the global view. And this light blue is 1860 parts per billion. And the next reading down is 1840. Got quite a bit of that coming in the Pacific. We're also seeing the next reading down of 1820 parts per billion here, just next to Papua New Guinea. See, it's kind of morphing. But it's still pretty high overall. I mean, if methane has started going down, it's not by much. So there's that. We'll look at 500 HPA. This is about halfway up in the atmosphere. Look at this heavy reading from China, this wide band going all the way up over the Arctic and here over the Arctic region. Red here over the Indian Ocean. And then total column, and this wide band is this is Japan here, and wide band coming down, and here's China, and see it spreading out over these islands, the Philippines, and all the southern Asian area. And here over the Bengal Bay, huge area, spots around India, and also here, this is in the Middle East and Kazakhstan. And then we've got spots, and we had spots this week that was kind of shocking to me to see over the U.S. We rarely see that heavy reading over the U.S., but we are seeing it this week. Here it is over a lot of Texas and the Gulf Coast area, Gulf of Mexico, and here's a hot spot over the Pacific. This is just north of Hawaii, the Hawaiian Islands there, and lots of reds. So there's that. And then continuing, here's sulfur dioxide for today. We've got a new high reading here that's going straight across from west to east across Canada there. There's 500 HPA. We've got a couple of higher readings in the South Atlantic. This is from plate movement, I'm thinking. This one is at Popocatépetl in Mexico. And then look at this. It's huge. It's a huge area where it's amassing across North America. Here's the North America view, and see it starts, looks like it starts just west of Vancouver Island. This is where the Juan de Fuca plate comes, and see it goes straight across and then spreads out. And then here's the northern U.S. It's going mainly across Canada. Here it is at 500 HPA. So what is this from? I don't know. I sincerely do not know. We don't have any volcanoes there. And it's not from earthquakes. I'm thinking it's something that's in the atmosphere somewhere. I'm not sure what yet. But it likes to hang around at this level, this 500 HPA. Sulfur dioxide is pretty heavy, and so it does like to hang around there. And it tends to hang around longer in the cold air at these higher levels than in the warmer air. Here's the ozone hole over the Antarctic today. And if we blow this up, I can barely make out some black right in the center, and that's the lowest reading they register, which is 100 to 125 Dobson units. And so everything inside this thick black line is in the danger zone below 220 Dobson units. So it's 5 levels down, and it's still huge. It's just kind of squished into to an oval position right now. And then we have thicker ozone on the outside of all this. Here's the Arctic ozone. We're seeing aquas coming in here over the North Atlantic in this Scandinavian area. Then all these greens, these are all holes in the ozone layer. And see, most of the US is in green. Here's an aqua hole. This looks like about the northern New Mexico area. And here's the global view. Here's a break in the ozone coming up in the South Atlantic up by Africa. But look at all these greens. There's also an aqua hole over the Pacific. It's pretty big. It starts over by these islands. And that's all of those. Now we'll move into the sea ice part of the show. And we'll start with our slideshow from Climate Reanalyzer. I download these images every day. This is sea ice and snow cover. The white areas on the land, that's snow. Let's see. It's been snowing up here. Lots of Russia. And some snow on the sea ice too. But we've had a little bit of regrowth here in the Beaufort Sea. The little bridge has grown back across to Siberia, and here in this East Siberian Sea and the Laptev Sea, we've got some wispy regrowth, and it's regrowing mainly around the coastlines there. We've got a little bit of regrowth in the North Kara Sea, and not much on this east side, and not much here in the Baffin Bay. A little bit in these tributaries, but mainly thickening and kind of filling in here too. So let's just go through from last week and see what happened. Here we are last Sunday, the 15th. You can see a lot more open water here last week. So here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can see it growing back. Thursday, Friday, there goes the little bridge. Saturday, and here we are today, Sunday. So there's that. And then the Navy models, U.S. Navy. This is the Arctic sea ice thickness. This is for today. It's slow going here. You see a little bit of wispy ice here in the North Baffin Bay, and see the light lavender in these tributaries. That's regrowth. And on this west side of Greenland, it's regrowing. Here's a little bit of regrowth between Franz Josef Land and Svalbard. And then up here in this North Barents and North Kara Sea, all around Severnaya Zemlya. And this we've got some kind of ice pretty much covering this Laptev Sea, even if it's just a little skim of ice. Or there's still a hole here in this East Siberian Sea, but here's our little bridge coming across. We still have quite a bit of white, meaning it's very thin. There could be openings there. The Bering Strait is still open. Chukchi Sea is mainly open. Here's the regrowth in the Beaufort Sea. It's still open all along Alaska and Canada there. And our aqua ice is 2 to 2.5 meters thick. And we saw it kind of breaking, kind of forming a divide here just above Ellesmere Island. Let's see what it did this week. And we've mainly got purples. Lavender and dark purple is about 1 meter thick. The dark blue, navy blue, is about 1.25 meters thick. The dark aqua is about 1.5 meters thick, and then it goes on up. We're seeing just a little hint of green, 3 meters thick, yellow, red, going up to dark red, 5 meters thick. Just a little bit along this Greenland coastline mainly. So, let's see. So this was updated to today. This is the 30-day animation. So the data goes back 3 weeks, and the forecast goes out to next Sunday. So let's see what's happening. So we're seeing, they're showing it filling in more here in this Laptev Sea and this East Siberian Sea this week, and a little bit more in this North Kara Sea. Okay, let's watch this aqua ice. Now it looks like it's sliding. Looks like there's a little divide on this hump here. I think that's what Cape Hood, or I don't remember, Cape something there. The most northern point on Greenland. But it looks like it's kind of dividing, and it's squishing down and sliding. So it looks like it's actually the aqua is getting less there. We're getting a little bit of red around that coastline. I'm thinking where the ice is being pushed up to the coastline. And then this side is moving west. And all of this is sliding down. This is not landfast. You can see the whole thing. Watch, it picks up and moves with the ice drift. That's kind of freaky looking. So it looks like the little brain, the little head moving down. Slow going on the thickening process, very slow. So it looks like the North Pole is about at 1 to 1.25 meters thick. So there's that. Here's the Antarctic sea ice thickness. So this is on the melt now. The melting has slowed somewhat this week as far as the extent. We're still seeing aqua, quite a bit of aqua here in the Weddell Sea and along the Larsen coastline. Aqua's mainly along the coastlines, you know, where it piles up. And here's the 30-day animation, and this it's for the same time period, so the forecast goes out to next Sunday. So there's that. Here's National Snow and Ice Data Center, Arctic sea ice concentration. The brown is the median. We're still well below that. This corresponds to the Navy model and the Climate Reanalyzer model that we saw. And the white is full concentration, meaning no cracks, solid ice. So even the light blue, that it could just be a little crack. And here's our refreeze chart. And this dotted line is 2012. The blue line is this year. And I thought for sure we were going to intersect with 2012 this week. But this is angled up pretty far. See, it's running kind of parallel with 2012 right now. Still. So that's low, but it's still there. Here's the Antarctic, and we see it's well below the median. And here's the melting chart. This blue line is this year. This gray-green line was last year. And so it looked like it leveled off for a couple of days here. Now it's angled back down a tiny bit. So it's definitely on the melt now. Here's Greenland for yesterday. And we see one little dot of salmon of melt right up here on this north edge. Here's the cumulative melt days for this year. The white denotes no melting, so you see that this area diminishes every year. And once it starts melting, it's easier for it to melt. You know, once that kind of that hard edge on top gets melted, it's easier for it to just really go into high melt. And here's the extent chart. And we flatlined. We're over here towards the end of October. So they stopped reporting on it from October until April. And so we're almost done with this melt season. This was wild. Look how high it went. Up past 50%. And right at 50% several days. That's all of those. Okay, I'm going to take a little break and then we'll look at NASA Worldview. Okay, I'm back, and now we'll look at NASA Worldview. We're starting in the Arctic, and we can see the black circle is getting bigger all the time. This is where the sun has gone down, and so it's going to be dark for the next few months as we go into summer in the southern hemisphere. And so we've got these models or layers. Sea ice concentration layer. Well, look at that. Turn off the clouds. here's where we're at right now with the sea ice, and we can see we've got some whites coming in. So like I've explained before, the new ice where it's just refrozen, you know, a lot of times it's just kind of solid, a little skim on top of the ice is solid, or top of the water. And so that's what we're seeing, this white around the edges here. And so doesn't mean it's thick, but it means there are no breaks. It's concentrated. So this corresponds with our other models that we're seeing. And so these holes have filled up or are filling up, and everything's thickening a little bit. Here's our regrowth on the edges here, and here in the Kara Sea, here the Laptev Sea, East Siberian Sea. Here's the little bridge that's come back, and we've got a little ice streaming out from the Russia coastline there in the Bering Sea. Nothing in the Sea of Okhotsk, maybe one or two little purple dots on the coastline over there. Bering Strait is open. Still got a lot of open water here in the Chukchi Sea and the Beaufort Sea, but it's inching back. So let's see what happened this week. We'll go back to Sunday the 15th and we'll just click through and see what's happened. There's Monday, Tuesday, we can see big changes, huh? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then today. So yeah, you can see big changes from day to day on this. And the Earth at night layer is no longer, they're not doing that anymore. So I'm sad about that. I wish they'd give us a nighttime layer where we could see things like we used to could. Okay, now we'll go in. We can see it's coming further down. The darkness is on Greenland and over this North Baffin Bay. All of Ellesmere Island is in the dark. A lot of these tributary areas is in the dark. All of Svalbard, Franz Josef Land. This north part of Novaya Zemlya is in the dark. All of Severnaya Zemlya, Taimyr Peninsula, a lot of that's in the dark now. East Siberian Islands, it's about half in the dark and half in the light today. And it's still open around this Russia coastline here, and of course the Bering Strait and along the Alaska and Canada coastlines here. So here's the ice, you can see it there. We've got a cloud here covering everything up. pretty cloudy, but suffice it to say this area over by Alaska is open. Can we see the ice bridge here? Yeah, here's some ice. See, that's some of that barely there ice. Then we've got clouds. Here's, see the little edge, the white edge around the coast is ice. Right along all of those. There's the bridge. Thinking. So I don't know what's clouds and what's ice here. Okay, we've got clouds over here, ice on the left. Yeah, that was the bridge. Uh-oh, what am I doing? No, I do not want to reset to defaults. I like my settings. Here's the MetOp C. You can see some ice here through the clouds. Oh, look, here's yesterday. That's a good view. See, here it's coming in. And I looked out when I took my little break, and we've got some rain falling now. So our cold front has arrived, it looks like. And then here's the Kara Sea. Here's the Yamal Peninsula. Here's Novaya Zemlya. This is all still open. These are all clouds. And here's Russia there. I think. Yeah. And then Greenland. Here's the ice. See, the ice edge. So that's about all we can see up here. And now let's move to the Antarctic. So we're going to start down here at Pine Island Glacier. So sun is up, getting higher in the sky. We're looking through some clouds today. So here's yesterday. This is a better view. This is Pine Island Glacier. You can see the flow of the glacier there. This is open water here. Here's some ice down here. Here's open water. See, this is breaking up. See all that open. And then here is the Thwaites Glacier right here. And you can see where the tongue has broken away from the glacier. Look at this side, that's all broken up. And down here, we've got a lot of open water down here. Let's see. Let's go back to today. No, it's too cloudy, can't see it. We'll go to yesterday. And you can see that the tongue is deteriorating here. See, it's breaking up. So, this is some barely there ice, and then see along the coastline it's open. So this Thwaites Glacier is also nicknamed the Doomsday Glacier for the amount of sea level rise when this collapses, not if, but when this does collapse. So this whole area down here is the water is just too warm for it to be frozen all the way, and it's warm underneath. Okay, here's the Western Peninsula, and the Larsen ice shelves are along here. And Larry, you were right. This Larsen Sea, where it broke off here, that was 6 years ago in the summertime. I can't believe it. That was in 2017, and it didn't start really moving out until the next year. But see, I started in 2018 with my shows and learning these different websites and everything, and how to read them. And so this was the A68 iceberg that broke off, and I was tracking that for 2 or 3 years until it finally dissipated way out. It moved. It traveled way out here. And that was the first one I tracked. And so, yeah, I've been tracking that the whole time. And then, here we are today. Here's the Weddell Sea. You can see the sea ice. Now, along here and along this peninsula is a lot of the aqua ice, or thicker ice, 2 to 2.5 meters thick. Here's the Weddell ice shelf, and this whole, this was another calving, another iceberg that broke off. Which one was this? Was this A76? Yeah, and we followed that. It finally broke up completely this last summer. And then, okay, where am I? I'm getting lost. Here's the Brunt ice shelf, and remember, this big piece broke off. And another piece here broke off last year. And then this is a lot of open water here. so you can make it out through the clouds. That's and this is an area on cams that when the background levels get low enough, we're able to see methane coming up all along this ice shelf on cams. Okay, here's the north side. See, there's the ice up there. Here's the coastline. Here's the east side. Here's the Amory ice shelf. And here's the sea ice. See, it's open right around the edge. And you see where this line is. This calved off, a couple of years ago. I forget the name of that one. But we tracked that as long as we could. And here's the Amory ice shelf. This is an excellent view. There's no clouds. Here's a little cloud, but almost no clouds. You can see the flow, see the lines. That's the flow of the ice. It's like a brush stroke on canvas. Then coming on around. Not much ice on this east side, so it doesn't freeze out very far. Here's the Totem Glacier. This is another area where this water just stays warm. Here's yesterday. Look at this. This is an excellent view. And here's the tongue. And that little line was a crack. It filled in, it looks like, over the winter. And here's some ice refreezing. Here's some barely there ice. Oh, let's see, right down here. Then coming around, let's go back to today. This is the Ross Sea. All this is sea ice. Here's Ross Island. There's Mount Erebus. You can see the shadow is getting shorter. See the shadows on these ridges in the mountains. It's getting shorter because the sun is coming up, so it's not at such a low angle. This is McMurdo Station. And that, I'm thinking that's like a tower, maybe I don't know, cell phone tower or something there. Or big, it's a structure to give off that shadow there. And here's ice. Coming around, and see the Ross Sea, the frozen part comes down pretty far. See, here's the ice edge. And here's more open water up by the coast. Let's see. Here's ice. And we're back to where we started from. So there's the Antarctic. And now we'll look at some earthquakes. We've had 198 in the last 24 hours. Of all magnitudes, these bigger dots are 5s. Here's a 5.0. Laojiao, China. 5.0 near the coast of Fujian, China. 5.2 Indian Ocean, Triple Junction. Look, here's one just south of Australia, 4.4. Let's look down here. Fiji, 5.5. 537 kilometers deep. And 4.6. 542 kilometers deep. These are both south of the Fiji Islands. So those deep ones, and they're big, will cause plate movement. These are 4s, Japan, Indonesia. There's a 4.3 Stavros, Greece. South America, 4.3 Abra Pampa, Argentina. 4.3 Calama, Chile. And then here off the coast of Puerto Madero, Mexico, 4.1. Here around Puerto Rico, we've got 4. Here's one off the coast of Dominican Republic, 4.0. That's the largest. Let's check out Hawaii, 28. And so this is Pahala down here, and this is Kilauea, and we can see we've got quite a few on the flank of Kilauea here. See, up here's the mouth, down here's the flank. We've got 14 on the flank. Here's one at a negative 0.8 kilometer depth, 1.8 magnitude. So the negative depth shows magma up in the chamber. So these are low 2s and 1s. So and here, see, we've got a stream coming out in the ocean. So let's look at Alaska real quick. 76, that's a little higher number than we've been having. 4.1 Nikolsky. Here's one. 3.8 Chokyitsky, Alaska, that's on the border. So it looks like it's in Canada. So it's just across the border in Canada. but the reporting station is Alaska. And then here in the lower 48, 76, that's a low number. I always get nervous when we see low numbers. Here's a 2.4 at Stewart's Draft, Virginia. We normally don't see them there. Let's see where that is. Yeah. That's just south of Staunton and west of Charlottesville, Virginia. Yeah, not much in Texas, Oklahoma. The earthquake makers are at home. Here's a 2.3 southern Idaho. That's the only one in the Yellowstone region. Here in the Pacific Northwest, we've got 9. Here's a 3.1 near Walna, Washington, that just came in. And here's one on the coast of Oregon, 2.1 offshore Oregon. This is in that Cascadia subduction zone area, and so on. So, low numbers here. Nothing huge. So let's look at 7 days all magnitudes. What did we do this week? 1,680 earthquakes this week. Look at this. There's a lot of movement on this this line, this Antarctic plate line. See, that goes around the bottom, all the way around. Lots of 5s. Let's see, I'm trying to remember if we had some 6s. Not remembering. Lots of 5s and 4s, I know that. And just lots of plate movement. I don't recall. I don't think I recall any 6s this week, which is unusual. Normally we have at least 1 or 2, but lots of movement you can see around all the areas. Okay, here we are, 6.4. Yeah, I forgot this one. Near Adak, Alaska. This came in on the 16th, and it was 187 kilometers deep. And so that was in the ocean. So this is Adak, I think. Where's Adak? This is Adak right here. So right up here in the ocean, in the Aleutian Islands. Here's a 5.2 Kamchatka. 5.1 Costa Rica, I remember that. And here in the U.S., here, see around this fulcrum point of the Wanda Fuca plate, quite a bit of movement, including a 4.0 there. Now, one thing that we did have in the Reno area here at Spanish Springs, we had some swarming, and we had 36 here this week. So that's a high number for the whole week. And we had a 3.6 here on the 18th. Normally we don't see them in the threes around here. We'll see 2s and 1s, but normally we don't see 3s. And here's another 3.6 on the 19th. And then 2s and 1s. And then a 3.1 on the 20th. And then 1s and under. So it looks like they're going down and becoming fewer, but since that's in my neck of the woods, that interested me. And we've got some more movement here at Lake Almanor in Northern California. We've got 4 here in the 2s. But nothing huge down here. It was pretty slow. But anyway, so that's about it, I think. Yeah, you can see. Let's see. Oh yeah, West Texas had a lot this week. 48 here in West Texas. This is from oil drilling. Mainly 2s. I saw a 3.1 there. There's a 3.5, 3.0. Yeah, and then 1s and 2s. So 48, that's a lot. So that's picking up. So that's my report for tonight. And then to bring it back to a spiritual perspective, we're reading out of the book of Tobit. This is the first book in the Apocrypha. This was, the Apocrypha was a group of books, writings that were considered to be in the Bible, but then they were not included in the Bible. And there are quite a few of them, and so I'm reading through those now too. Tobit chapter 12. Then Tobit called his son Tobias, and said unto him, My son, see that the man have his wages, which went with thee, and thou must give him more. And Tobias said unto him, O father, it is no harm to me to give him half of those things which I have brought. For he hath brought me again to thee in safety, and made whole my wife, and brought me the money, and likewise healed thee. Then the old man said, It is due unto him. So he called unto the angel, and he said unto him, Take half of all that ye have brought, and go away in safety. Then he took them both apart, and said unto them, Bless God, praise him, and magnify him, and praise him for the things which he hath done unto you in the sight of all that live. It is good to praise God, and exalt his name, and honorably to shew forth the works of God. Therefore be not slack to praise him. It is good to keep close the secret of a king, but it is honorable to reveal the works of God. Do that which is good, and no evil shall touch you. Prayer is good with fasting, and alms and righteousness. A little with righteousness is better than much with unrighteousness. It is better to give alms than to lay up gold. For alms doth deliver from death, and shall purge away all sin. Those that exercise alms and righteousness shall be filled with life. But they that sin are enemies to their own life. Surely I will keep close nothing from you, for I said it was good to keep close the secret of a king, but that it was honorable to reveal the works of God. Now therefore, when thou didst pray, and Sarah thy daughter-in-law did bring the remembrance of your prayers before the Holy One, and when thou didst bury the dead, I was with thee likewise. And when thou didst not delay to rise up, and leave thy dinner to go and cover the dead, thy good deed was not hid from me, but I was with thee. And now God hath sent me to heal thee and Sarah thy daughter-in-law. I am Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels, which present the prayers of the saints, and which go in and out before the glory of the Holy One. And they were both troubled, and fell upon their faces, for they feared. But he said unto them, Fear not, for it shall go well with you. Praise God, therefore, for not of any favor of mine, but by the will of our God I came, wherefore praise him forever. All these days I did appear unto you, but I did neither eat nor drink, but ye did see a vision. Now therefore give God thanks, for I go up to him that sent me, but write all things which are done in a book. And when they arose, they saw him no more. Then they confessed the great and wonderful works of God, and how the angel of the Lord had appeared unto them. Tobit chapter 12. So we can see from this writing that, an angel of the Lord, Raphael, was with them, during the travels and healing and doing what they needed to do. And God had sent him on a mission, and I believe that God still sends angels on missions to help people, and we may not be aware of it, but I think we're going to have more and more angels coming and helping us, especially in these dark days that we're in, and darker days that we're moving into as we move forward in these end times. Time is short. Time is very short. And if you haven't given your life to Jesus Christ, I really recommend you do it before it's too late. By doing that, you are guaranteed that you will not go to hell, and you can be walking with Jesus and God you can have a relationship with them, be protected, be under their wing, and you can receive the Holy Spirit and have discernment and other gifts of the Spirit. But also, the good news is that Jesus is coming. He's coming back. And the Bible says that whosoever believeth on him shall have everlasting life. And so that's the good news. And you won't be caught up by Satan. You won't be deceived by him. If you have the Holy Spirit discernment, you will not be deceived by Satan. But the world will be deceived. Those who do not have the Holy Spirit and who are not believers, they will be deceived. And so I pray that you won't be deceived. So that's my show for tonight. I'm praying for all of y'all. I hope everyone has as good a week as you can. And Lord willing, I'll be here next Sunday and give you another climate update and everything. And so, be safe. I love you all. God bless you. Go in peace. And I will talk to you soon. Good night.